Welcome, young Game of Thrones fans. Get ready to embark on an epic journey through the intricacies of legitimation in Westeros. But before we begin, I have to say one thing. If you haven't watched the series or read the books yet, you better run. Because here, we'll reveal secrets more closely guarded than the Iron Bank of Braavos vault. So, pull up a chair, or an iron throne if you have one handy, and let's dive into this world of betrayals, dragons, and characters who die more often than mosquitoes at a summer picnic. But don't worry, I'm here to guide you through this labyrinth of intrigue with a touch of humor and plenty of nerd references. Here, you'll find everything you need to know about legitimation in Game of Thrones. Who are the bastards? Why do they always seem to have a little problem with their parents? And how the hell can they become legitimate heirs to thrones and lands? Get ready to be blown away when you discover the surprising twists that occur when a bastard is legitimized. It's as if a flock of ravens flew straight into your mind and screamed, "Hey, get ready to be thrown into a whirlwind of political plots and bloody battles." But don't worry, we'll be here to explain every detail. And yes, when I say we, it's not like I'm talking to my multiple selves. I'm just a humble narrator. But I'll share with you trivia, crazy theories, and a sharp sense of humor. So get ready to laugh, cry, and occasionally throw the remote control against the wall. I'm not responsible for any damages caused, by the way. Oh, and if you're the type who loves sending your friends devastating spoilers, please hold back. Let's enjoy this journey together, sharing theories, reacting to shocking moments, and probably crying in the fetal position when our favorite characters are brutally murdered. Because, well, it's Game of Thrones, right? Chapter 1. Legitimization. What is it? And why is it so important? Hey, folks. Get ready to discover what the heck legitimation is in Game of Thrones, and why it's more important than the survival of your favorite character. Seriously, no one is safe in this world. So what is legitimation? Don't worry, it's not a magical spell that turns a toy sword into Valyrian steel. It's actually a crucial political move that transforms a despised bastard into a legitimate heir, with all the glory, lands, and maybe even a pet dragon if you're lucky. Believe it or not, in Westeros, who you are and where you come from matter as much as the color of your hair or the mark on your armor. And legitimation is the key to entering this club of the pure-blooded. Because, let's be honest, no one wants to be stuck in the bastard's corner, while the legitimate heirs enjoy amazing parties in the main halls. But why the hell is legitimation so important? Well, imagine being a bastard, living in the shadows, with no rights or recognition. It's like being an extra in the series, while the main characters steal all the scenes. Legitimation changes everything. It's like suddenly getting an upgrade to a main character, complete with your own theme music and all. And that's when the fun begins. With legitimation, you can claim lands, castles, and maybe even the coveted Iron Throne. Just imagine yourself sitting up there, with a sarcastic smile, while your enemies try to bring you down. It's like checkmate in a game of chess, but with swords and dragons. Who wouldn't want that? But let's take it easy, young Padawans. Legitimation is not an easy task. It's not just saying, "Hey, I'm a Stark now, I can boss you around." It involves political plots, disastrous marriage alliances, and even that romantic thing called true love, which means an arranged marriage that can end in tragedy or eternal love. Depends on the mood of the old and new gods. So my advice to you is, if you're a bastard, don't worry. After all, life is full of twists, and nothing is impossible in Game of Thrones. Fight for your place in the sun. Pursue your legitimation as if it were the most comfortable throne of all, maybe even with a footrest and a back massage. Because, in the end, Game of Thrones is a story of power, ambition, and struggles for control. And legitimation is the key to entering this game, becoming a high-level player, and sending a sarcastic hello to those who doubted you. Chapter 2. The Bastards of Westeros. Hey, folks. Let's talk about those characters in Game of Thrones, who always have a strange last name and an extra dose of drama. Yes, I'm talking about the Bastards of Westeros. Get ready to meet a bunch full of charm, but with an extra load of family problems. The bastards in Game of Thrones are like those indie bands you've never heard of, but when you discover them, you fall madly in love. They're everywhere, scattered across the 7 kingdoms like pepper in a meat pie. Let's start with Jon Snow, the most famous bastard of all. He's like the rebellious child that everyone loves, even if he's a bit boring sometimes. But let's be honest, who can resist his piercing gaze and the hair that always seems perfect, even when facing the harshest winter? We also have Ramsay Snow, or Bolton, depending on his mood, who is one of the most hated and at the same time most beloved characters of the series. He makes Jon Snow look like a pacifist hippie. This guy is the embodiment of evil, but with a sarcastic smile and an incredible talent for torture. Never trust someone with the last name Snow or Bolton, okay? And what about Gendry Rivers? He's the perfect example of how a bastard can rise from the mud and discover that royal blood runs through his veins. And man, he's got arms that would make Robert Baratheon himself proud. Plus, that seductive look that makes any heart melt faster than ice cream in the summer. Oh, and we can't forget Oberyn Sand, the bastard of Dorne who caused a stir in this series. With his Latin charm, impressive fighting skills, and let's say, spicy personality, he became a fan favorite. Too bad things didn't end well for him. R.I.P., Oberyn, you taught us never to underestimate a bastard. But the life of a bastard is not easy, folks. They face prejudice, distrust, and the constant feeling that they are less than the legitimate heirs. It's like they're always playing the hardest version of a video game while others have an easy mode activated. But you know what? Bastards have incredible determination and strength. They're willing to prove their worth and fight for their place in the world. And sometimes, they even surpass the legitimate ones in intelligence, courage, and even charisma. After all, who needs a famous last name when you have an abundance of personality? So, let's raise our meat cups and toast to these brave bastards who defy all odds and provide us with epic moments of entertainment. Without them, Game of Thrones would just be a boring medieval soap opera. Chapter 3. The Consequences of Legitimation. Hey, folks! We've reached the most explosive chapter of our journey through legitimation in Game of Thrones. Let's talk about the consequences of this risky political move and how it can cause more chaos than a hungry dragon at a barbecue festival. When a bastard is legitimized, everyone thinks, wow, now they're officially royalty. It must be all joy and happiness, right? Wrong. In fact, legitimation can trigger a series of events that make the Battle of the Bastards look like a peaceful ballroom dance. Let's start with the rivalry between siblings. Oh yes, because when a bastard is legitimized, the other legitimate siblings put on fake smiles while planning 1,001 ways to get rid of the new family member. It's like a deadly family competition where the prize is power and survival. And let's not forget about rival houses, who see legitimation as an opportunity to destabilize their enemies. It's like throwing gasoline on an already uncontrollable fire. Wars are declared, alliances are broken, and hearts are shattered faster than you can say, winter is coming! But it doesn't stop there, folks. Legitimation also messes with the bastard's head. They go from being outcasts and discredited to potential targets. It's as if suddenly everyone is watching them, waiting for any slip-up to take their heads, literally, if we're talking about Game of Thrones. And of course, we have the infamous curse of being a legitimate heir. Who needs peace and tranquility when there's a throne to contend for? Legitimation comes with a baggage of responsibilities, intrigues, and tough decisions. It's like having to choose between a Valyrian steel sword and a chocolate cake. Who can decide, right? But folks, despite all these scary consequences, we can't deny that legitimation also brings epic moments and exciting twists. It's like watching an episode of Game of Thrones where you never know who will survive, who will betray whom, and who will fall in love amidst the chaos. So, if you dream of being legitimized and ruling over lands and kingdoms, think twice. You may end up with more problems than you imagined. But if you're someone who loves a good family drama, betrayals, and epic battles, then get ready to delight in the consequences of legitimation. Conclusion. Whether you're a bastard, a legitimate heir, or just a passionate fan, legitimation in Game of Thrones is a theme that engrosses and fascinates us. Throughout this journey, we've discovered that legitimation can be a treacherous path full of consequences, but it's also a catalyst for epic moments, intense rivalries, and unexpected twists. In the world of Westeros, power is fiercely contested, and legitimation is one of the keys to unlocking dominion over the Seven Kingdoms. But as we've learned, having a title and a famous surname doesn't always guarantee success. After all, In a game where everyone wants the throne, it takes courage, intelligence, and, of course, a sprinkle of luck. The bastards of Westeros show us that our origins don't define who we are. They defy expectations, fight against stigma, and leave their mark on the world, proving that legitimacy goes beyond a surname. It's an internal and external battle, a quest for identity, and a desire to claim your place, regardless of circumstances. But make no mistake, my friends, Game of Thrones is fiction, and in real life, legitimation can take different forms. We don't need to be heirs to a kingdom to find our own legitimacy. Each of us has the power to build our own story, fight for our dreams, and be the protagonists of our lives. So rise up, raise your metaphorical sword, and march towards your own legitimacy. Don't let the expectations of others or the difficulties along the way prevent you from achieving what you desire. Be the hero of your own journey, even if that journey is filled with metaphorical dragons and emotional betrayals. And don't forget, folks, to have fun along the way. Game of Thrones has taught us that even in the darkest situations, humor can be a powerful ally. So laugh, play, make jokes about the characters, and passionately root for your favorite. After all, life is too short to take everything so seriously. Thank you for embarking on this epic adventure through legitimation in Game of Thrones with me. I hope you've had fun, learned something new, and felt inspired to seek your own legitimacy, whatever your path in life may be. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, insert channel name, for more fun and engaging content about Game of Thrones and much more. Let's continue exploring mysteries, crazy theories, and epic moments together. And of course, share it with all your friends who are also fans of the series. Valid legitimation.
If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be here until next time.